Queensland Premier Rugby is back for its most eagerly awaited season in history. Romanian international Luke Samoa has arrived at the nest with a host of young talent under his wing. There's potential at Chipseywood. Can they recapture the glory days of old? East have got the flair, the firepower and the ferocity. This man, Seru Uru, will haunt the dreams of club.
Aim in the backside here for the Tigers as they swing it out. Let's get a few extra metres of pills. Finds the spice out wide and it's try time there.
Head coach Carl Marshall is back at Sylvan Road and he's the top dog at the kennel. The Doggies missed finals by just 1 point last year and they're here to play. Don't look away from this young team. They can make something from nothing.
Then one off the ruck. Carter Gordon has sniffed it. The Chiefs defender and Carter Gordon.
It's been a tough few years for the Eagles, but don't you dare tell Chapo that they're not in the fight.
Family members, here we go now. Chapman splits it wide open, goes himself and gets the try. Nick Chapman, take a bow.
It's a new season, and the men from Hugh Courtney Oval have a point to prove. With Cody Blackhurst up front, the Eagles are ready to soar.
Back at Tuapo goes through, Tuapo gets the try. 22 years, 22 long years. Chiefs have won the 2018 Hospital Challenge Cup.
The Gallopers have been in destructive form in recent years, and boy, do the glue factory get stuck in. Sunnybank are out to restore some pride and will be breathing fire in 2020. With Tom Lucas at the wheel, good luck keeping up once these guys get on a roll. They need no introduction. Just 5 points kept Brothers from the Cup last year, and don't believe that they've put it behind them. Matho will have the Brethren firing in 2020.
Goes straight through and he finds Luke. Luke gets it back infield and that's a ripper of a pass from the youngster.
The Bull Sharks are circling. There'll be no easy trips down the M1 if Dan Boardman has anything to do with it.
Side to go down this near touchline. Max down back infield. Dan Boardman goes through untouched. Try time. In at the death here over the Dragons. Strikes it. Switch third. Burying the Dragons.
Arguably the team of the decade. This cup has spent more time at stud to heavy than any other club.
Now wide Cairns gets smacked by Teams.
Go back infield, finds Dalgleish, Cliffy Sedu.
Hino won't let these young students give it up without a fight.
Working towards the post, Dane McDermott goes straight through. McDermott swings it back to Campbell and he bellows it.
The Hospital Challenge Cup is club rugby at its best, and it starts now.
What an introduction. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to round 6 of the 2020 All Sports Physiotherapy Hospital Challenge Cup. We are at Chipseywood Oval this weekend for the clash between Souths and Bond. Souths haven't had a win since round 1 against Brothers as this young side continues to develop. And they have a tough challenge ahead this weekend as they host Bond with the Bunter Bowl on the line after the Bull Sharks claimed the trophy from East last weekend. Remember, folks, you can catch all 4 Hospital Challenge Cup games each week live and free via QLDrugby.com. My name is Martin Lippier. Joining me in commentary today, we have former Brothers Colts coach Ben Travers. We got there in the end, Ben.
We did. Good afternoon. Awesome afternoon here. Sun shining.
Mate, I think this is probably the first time ever Queensland Premier Rugby is being played in spring.
Yeah. And it's going to move into summer as well very shortly, or very close to at least. It's going to be bloody hot when you get down to those later months closer to Christmas, I tell you. But no, beautiful afternoon here. If we can get a game like we had last week for the match of the round, we'll be doing quite well.
Now, this south side, it's littered with players fresh from the Magpies Colts program who had a lot of success in the last couple of years, who you've coached against. Who are some of the players you think we should be watching out for?
Yeah, we did. We had a loss in the grand final to them last year, and I give credit to Todd Dammers, South's head coach, for what he's doing here at South, blooding these young blokes through the system. But one of these blokes in particular, 12, Henry Smith, stood out in the grand final last year against Brothers, probably almost won the match on his bat, to be honest. But Smith in 12, look, all these young blokes are learning. They've got a really young front row, and I'm excited to see Carl Manu at 7 as well today.
Yeah, Bond, a massive win last week over the competition heavyweights East. You know, you could call them God Slayers because they figured it out. What did you make of that performance?
Well, you watch that game and you just kept thinking that East would come, they'd come over the top of them, but they just kept trading blows with one another, and Bond at the end were really strong. So, they scored a lot of tries from in their own half. It was a great game to watch, and they knocked over the heavyweights, or the perceived heavyweights in East. So I'm sure they come here with full of confidence today.
And the Bunter Bowl is obviously on the line today. After they conquered East last week, Souths have thrown down the gauntlet. What sort of confidence do you think this young South cohort will take from potentially winning that silverware? Yeah,
I mean, it's a good carrot to have. When I walked into the ground today, I saw a couple of the South folk, and I think they're realistic about where they're at this year in terms of blooding the young team through. But I think they've had a good week of training, they told me, the old cliche, and they're excited to get back at it today after last week.
Ahead of this afternoon's match, Reds TV caught up with South's head coach Todd Dammers. Check it out.
Mate, for us, it's just about consistency. Like, we're doing some good things, and then, mate, we do have some errors. So for us, with our group, it's just about finding consistency. But we're getting closer, mate. But it's probably not coming quick enough for me. But they're doing well, mate. It's just the patches that the patches of poor play we've got to try and alleviate. The reality is they've probably learned a bit more about patience and understanding. Like, UQ taught us a really good lesson last week in terms of knowing the game, staying with it, and also having the patience to execute. So I think we went through really good periods against UQ, but just not long enough. We didn't show enough patience. So I think that's probably the one thing. And I think the other thing is just being able to stay in games. Like, we've probably been in games, like last week was 19-7 at halftime. The week before we lost to Sunnybank, 2 weeks before we lost to Sunnybank on the bell. It's just staying in games and staying in momentum moments, but we're getting there, mate. Yeah, for Bond, mate, they've been really good. Like last week, obviously a massive win against Easts, but any Bond side, mate, are a tough side. So I think at the start of the year I said that I thought they'd be a top 4 side, and I haven't seen anything to change my mind as yet. Obviously beating East down there, big win. Like, mate, East are a good side. They're probably the competition heavyweights. So we've got to respect them, and we've just got to be prepared to, mate, get in their faces and hopefully have a crack at this Bunter Bowl. The Bunter Bowls, mate, are a really, really important piece of Queensland Rugby Union. Now it's a little bit like the Ranfurly Shield. So we've discussed it. It's really, for us, it's a good opportunity to collect a piece of silverware. But at the same time, I don't think Bond will be keen to give it up. So it'll be a really good game.
It's a big day here for the young Magpie team that is taking to the field. Before we go any further, we'd like to make a special mention to the supporters and the sponsors who support club and grassroots rugby. And in this case, it's going to be South's major sponsor, the Index Group, and Bond's major sponsor, Bruce Linton, Land Rover and BMW. Now, Ben, we're going to get straight into it, and we are going to have a gander at these teams that are taking to the field today, and I'll get you to run us through the finer arts of Souths.
Yeah, mate, as I said at the top, young front row, Palonga, Furee and Sula Suisi. Really young front row. I'm excited to see Palonga get an opportunity today. I mentioned again at the top, Carl Manu at 7, former Australian schoolboy. He's got an opportunity coming through Colts last year. He'll pack down at 7. Billy Rutherford back at halfback this week. It was a big inclusion for South. And I'm not sure if you saw much of the uni game last week, but Lucas Ripley on that left wing, I think it was his first his debut starting, and he gets his second crack at it here. He's a man to watch, coming through BBC last year. And the skipper, Luke Samoa, obviously the experience, an international representative for Romania. He's obviously the wise head at the back.
And we're going to have a look at The Godslayers themselves, Bond, the team that took down East last week. Interesting front row there in Blake, Turner and Siggs. We're going to see a back row with Connors, Rowe and Pritchard. They're going to be looking pretty good there, with Declan Denon getting the call-up as well to the starting line-out. Out the back, the only change that we're seeing in the Bond backline will be the number 11 jersey. It's Thomas Grennan jumps in to replace the injured Gus Kazavakatini, and out the back, that wonderful centres pairing of Menzies and Captain Boardman will be on fire today and coached by Grant Anderson. It's been a really interesting season for Bond, Ben, because in many of the years previous, we've seen that they've played a wonderful brand of rugby in the back half of the season, and it hasn't been enough to cover up for the losses they've had in the opening half. But now we're seeing Bond sitting in at 4th overall on the table in what is such a tightly contested season. You got to be factoring these guys in for finals.
I think so. Yeah, it's really congested around that 4th spot, isn't it? I think it's 1 point splitting maybe 3 or 4 teams, and this is, I mean, every game in an 8-game season that we're in this revised COVID year is really crucial. So this is a big one for them today. They won't be taking South lightly. They'll obviously be on a high after what they did at home last week against East. And they should be right to go.
Well, let's talk about that last week. Obviously, 6 tries to East 3 tries, but we're at a 10-point difference. And I think one of the important things that Bonds are going to have to overcome is no Mitch Third, who's had some very clutch 81st minute touches for the penalty goals. But they only got 1 from 6 on their conversions last week. So that's 10 points that went wanting. So essentially, we were looking at what should have been a 42-22 scoreline against East, which, as numbers go, that's a thumping. That is a thumping. Yeah. But I think there's a bigger concern here that 1 from 6, when you get to finals, that is the difference between coming home with the Hospital Challenge Cup and not.
Absolutely, yeah, they'll want to address that. I'm not sure if there's a timeline on when Third returns, because, yeah, he has hit maybe in the 83rd minute a couple of clutch goals at the back end of 2 games this year already. So, look, they you need to be able to kick goals to win the chocolates at the end, don't you?
And Mitch Third, we found out he's got I think he's got a bit of staff at the moment that he's picked up sometime over the last couple of weeks, and so when he comes back, it's anyone's guess, because those things are always dependent on the individual. And Bond here, they've got a really nice looking setup. I think one of the big ones for me, has been really exciting to watch, has been Liam Dillon. Now, he hasn't always had the best shake of starting appearances at West in the last couple of years, because obviously Moses Sorovi, whenever he comes down, you're going to give him the keys to the kingdom. But I do really feel that since he's been down at Bond this year, he has been delivering a very prompt and punctual, flat brand of rugby from 9, which then allows secondary playmakers like Menzies and Boardman, who, probably would have shared the same womb if, looking at how they play with one another. It just enables them to have a lot of attacking width.
Yeah, really good running lines from the base of the ruck, so really good support play. And yeah, he's got his opportunity this year. We see it across the competition. People get their opportunity and they take him. They make it hard for the incumbents to come back and take the jersey.
Well, we talk about 9s that really stepped up. One for me that really broke my heart was seeing Reuben Wall from Brothers, I think, when they played Bond 2 weeks ago when he did his ACL in that big front-on step. Yeah. He was having a really great game, and the last couple of seasons have been really good in building. And I think it still highlights that it's super competitive right now. But even though we have some of these players that are doing really well and getting injured like Ruben has, best wishes to you, Rubes. Hope you are on the road to recovery. There is just so much good talent in the competition that's ready to step up and get in on the action.
Absolutely, yeah. I think he did everything he could to a knee, the poor bloke Rube, so he'll be out for an extended period. And again, in that example, Isaac Tarabay, who's waited in the wings in reserve grades, come through, and he's playing some really good footy. He played a lot of minutes that day against Bond.
Yeah, he was cramping up something fierce, and then I think he had to be subbed off in the 60th minute, and then whoever the third string halfback was had to front up.
Correct. And he did it the week before, Isaac. I think he played 300 minutes in 8 days. So
that's a lot of pen scratching on Matho's board.
Yeah, there's not much room left there now.
Oh, and look at this aged man of war running the sidelines today, the Hoff.
Just blooding the next generation of young refs through.
Mate, I think
he's a good man.
You could imagine.
Geez, Duncan Male knows where the camera is, doesn't he?
If you're out in the middle of the wicket, you just got to know that Hoff's watching from the side, and you just make sure you want to get everything, because you don't want to have Hoff just buzzing in to say, "Oh, hey mate, you missed that one."
Correct. Now I think so. James Palmer's our referee. He debuted last week against. He gets 2 matches around in a row. I don't know. He must be good friends with the people at Premier Rugby, but he got the match of the round last week, which is a belter. So
nearly 100 points.
I know. Unbelievable. Rowan Saffel, the Iceman. How good.
Yeah, I think he took a bit of leaf out of Tom Christie's book.
Yeah, Christie in third. And, yeah. But how good are they? Big, high scoring.
Let's call it the 80-minute club. And here comes South, led out by Luke Samoa. Very different looking South's outfit than what we have seen in previous years. A lot of young men really stepping up in a big way in this. It's like an abridged season, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a GPS rugby season, really, isn't it? You don't. There's not much margin for error here.
Wham bam, thank you, man.
Yeah, in and out.
And we're away. South's up against Bond University, the All Sports Physio Hospital Challenge Cup for 2020. And it'll be South sitting in deep. They're going to have to try and work it out of their 22 here. Bond defence very strong. There's the box coming out from Rutherford. He's looking for the clearance, and he will find it. So line out to Bond. And the attacking 22.
Yeah, not much breeze about today for those who are watching us live. It's probably favouring South a little bit, I'd suggest. Is that what we're seeing?
We're seeing a little bit of northerly today, so whipping across the right-hand shoulders of Bond this afternoon. Turner fires it long out the back, comes off the fingers of
Might have got away with
upfield.
one there.
Pritchard. Not the ideal start for Bond.
No, just getting their wires across there. Obstruction from James Palmer. I think it's the right call.
Roman Prasad will now hunt for touch. Punches it low and hard. It wasn't the prettiest of kicks, but over on the left-hand side, it was a good kick return there from Stowers. Now, South charging out of their own half. Rutherford at the back. Looks for the short option on the right-hand side. It's a good run there from Jonah Palonga, who migrated across from Jeeps last year. Good touch also from Christiansen. Rutherford hunts out the back. Prasad. They're going to work it across the field. Keep it simple. South still inside their 40. Bit of pressure there from Boardman.
It's good if you're a front row like Palonga to get your hands on early and get those shoulders through.
Box kick from Rutherford sends it downtown. Dillon is in and around of his then let it bounce, and Bond will field a line out just inside their defensive half. Something could be said about the headspace of the benches here at South.
You can't have any locks.
I was about to say, I think it's good for the props who don't have necks anyway. They can just sit there. Tall line out taken clean up high by Declan Dinnan. Bond on the attack outside their own 22. Dillon backdoors it through, and it's a good touch. They're going to send it downtown. On the kick return is Samoa. Links up back across.
Excellent carry.
Lucas Ripley on that left wing again. Out the back goes Rutherford. They're going to keep spreading it across. Good touch here from Sulisiausi. And now the penalty. Wonderful touches there by number 6, Dylan Rowe. He is a Croatian national team player. I believe he's a former South player himself once upon a time.
Come home. He just got in really good position early there, clean on the ball.
Now attacking set piece for Bond.
While seated in our game day licensed areas, the canteen food and beverages are takeaway. Can be consumed in the
Turner fires out the back, hits Rowe, who gave them this wonderful field position. Now working up hard will be Dinan.
metres apart.
That forward pass.
Nice.
Hygiene.
So Bonder executing the back of the line out really well here. I think that's 3. They might have got away with one on the first one that might have been a bit crooked, but if you can get to the back of the line out, you can obviously play with a lot of width, so they're able to punch midfield or go a bit wider there, so we'll see how that plays out for the rest of the day.
Well, we saw them last week playing against East. It was a super quick game. The ball was getting delivered really hard and fast out to those backs, and the set piece looked really nice of one last week. We didn't see too many penalties given away for errors in the set piece, so...
No, I think that was just the one. I think East might have got him with a pop the scrum and got a penalty try. I think that was the only one that, under severe pressure, the Bond scrum, 5 metres out. First scrum of the day. We'll see. You always want to get one up against your opponent.
Ball in hand with young Billy Rutherford.
Now, Cal Manu's sporting the mullet style. I mean, that's just everywhere at the moment, isn't it? South's open side flanker there.
Hey,
on the faded mullet.
Well, you could also look at Joda Palonga. He's got some speed strokes cutting up top as well. I think there's been a lot of creativity in some of the haircuts we see in rugby, and
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of flavour in that scrum right there.
I think everyone was shedding a tear when Jack Goodhue removed his party out the back earlier in the week.
I think so.
Saw some good content.
Yeah, there was actually.
Rutherford throws it in. It'll be picked up at the back by Dinnan, who gets the offload. Mo came up in the line. Rutherford off the back. Hits the forwards in close and tight. Lachlan Connors. Palonga. It's taken low.
South's happy to play a fair bit of rugby in their own sort of half here.
Henry Smith took that last hit up. Now South really feeling the burden in close. Manu wears a stiff shoulder that time, but some good offloads put into the hand of Sulisiausi, marching their way towards halfway. So South racking up the phase count as they migrate their way down the field, but Bond putting up a very stiff line of defence. Palonga, one off again. They're going to keep spreading it out wide this time with Smith. Gets the pass out wide. There's a little bit of a flick from Siaki, who will get pushed out of the field of play. So Bond, Ben, they were just waiting for an opportunity.
It's pretty clear that Todd Dammers doesn't want to give Max Dowd any time and space. So I don't think they've been kicking the ball a lot today.
And they've tried to spread it wide. We saw that sniping tackle come through, but then wonderful cover tackle coming through from Bernstein. Oof, and that line out taken without even having to leave the ground. Dillon.
Great low chop.
Hard straight running from Bond puts them in the attacking frame. Boardman offloads it through. Now it's over on the left-hand side. It's a spirited run there from Stowers. Back door to Siggs, who's hit hard there by Dinnan. Penalty advantage to Bond. They're going to keep working their way across, throwing it through the hands. Good touches there from Dowd, working it out wide. Here is a spirited run from Menzies. Dillon shows and goes, sees some space, but gets sandwiched by the South's defence. Dowd. And move it out to Siggs, who gets another good offload. Way to Boardman, who's being wrestled to the ground by Smith. Kiona's boom from Palonga. Big shot from the front rower. Menzies opts to go himself, manages to bust one tackle. Bond now looking for some space on the right. Dillon gets the offload away to Rowe, but Rowe, ball goes back to where the penalty was offended by South.
The ball security from both teams is outstanding. So far, the ball in hands, excellent. I don't want to be running at Jonah Polonga.
No.
That's not something I want to do. Egan Siggs, he had a couple of carries in that last set of phases there. Former Australian 20s player. I think he had a year off last year. I think he's refound his love for rugby, and he's playing some good footy down at Bond.
Well, it's interesting because he had a bit of time at Brothers. I think he had a bit of time at UQ as well. Then he's moved back down. Obviously, the TSS Southport School, for those not in the nose, graduate from 2016. And you can see we've got, I think, 6 players across the full match day 23 for Bond that are from Southport, so local products.
Yeah, I know their Colts this year are littered with TSS graduates as well, and playing some really good footy too.
Turner, cheeky play up front, hits Rowe in the tram tracks. Dylan's got a lot of pressure on him, but he'll get the offload. Siggs slows it down, runs to his support. Dylan back in the saddle, but it won't be enough because the penalty will go against Siggs for not releasing.
Both sides really showing up defensively here. Good first 10 minutes, like good arm wrestle.
Now the question is, Ben, do you get to pull that trick play out of the hat more than once in a game?
I don't know. I was going to say, Toddy Dammers has done some video this week, I think. Will they go back to it?
Because we saw them do it a few times against East last week, and I think it actually paid off for one of the tries because it really caught them unawares. So,
well, I think in the first 10 minutes they've had 6 lineouts, Bond, so they're getting to set piece enough.
Rutherford, after the clean line out, makes his way down to him. He's going to make his way across the field now. They're going to be looking for some clearance out the back. Samoa puts it onto the boot.
25, stop. All right,
Kicks for clearance, but it'll be fielded well by Brennan, the new man in the team. Former Argentinian Sevens player, Thomas Grennan. Now the turnover, so South's now in some favourable field position. They'll have a scrum.
You're right about that headspace.
Mate, it's average. It's so average. Seriously, if any of the backs that have put a bit of work into that hair for the game, they're going to be just.
If Jonah Polonga comes off, his top knot's going to be.
Mate, Jonah Polonga is that tough. He'll probably just poke a hole through it and make a sunroof. They're all going to be coming off with flat tops.
They will, yeah.
Hey, on Bind, you can't load up on his shoulder.
Scheming something in the back line here.
Just listen, don't load up on his shoulder, please. Okay, I'll manage that if you don't load up on his shoulder. Cool.
There's a bit of leeway at scrums early on in the game. We're seeing a few resets, but I expect that will change quickly as the game goes on. We'll probably see some half-arm and full-arm penalties flying out.
Yeah, I think James Palmer will lose patience shortly under maybe a bit of direction from Hoff from the sideline. There we go.
Full-arm penalty going to South. Penalty going against Bond for collapsing the scrum. So this could be probably the first real bit of attacking set piece that we're going to see from South.
Yeah, the grass has been going down here. It's sort of been between the halfway and the 22 of in the South half, but now we'll see some football. I want to see young Ripley on the left wing just get ball with in the 15 channel one-on-one. I want to see what he can. I want to watch him go to work.
Spoiled up the front, courtesy of Jake Upfield. But South regather it. A wonderful second effort there from Raw Christiansen. Polonga will take that one up. Rutherford off the back. He's got a spread of Magpies out to the left. There's a good touch. Running up will be Manu.
No, wait, leave it. You're in front of the ball.
Prasad throws the cut out. South 10 metres out. Rutherford. Looking over to the right-hand side of the field. There's a bit of space out there for Rutherford to work with. But Bond's defence really turning on, not letting them within 10 metres. Round the corner coming in, Shuri. Another run from Manu. Rutherford steps aside, allows the forwards to charge up with way to Sedu out in front. Whoa, big shot from Dylan Rowe.
No, he's pinned there. Let it come.
South, they're moving up about half a metre with every pick and drive.
Use it!
Rutherford looking for options. His forwards are getting tired. This is good pressure from South, but even better defensive pressure from Bond. Rutherford doesn't have an answer. Besides forwards in pods of 3.
Just pistoning, aren't they? Just each way.
And they're sending them back now. 22 on his heels. Other side, Prasad throws the ball through to Smith. Pirouettes through some of the defenders. There's Sedu. He's isolated, but they hold on. Prasad, flat ball to Sulisiausi, who gets it away. Now they're looking to the left-hand side. The switch under to Ripley. Jostling and jiving his way through the defensive line. Rutherford looking for runners, but they're getting pushed onto the stack of players in front of the post.
This must be the 40th phase.
They're getting up there. Forey, another hammering hit. Bonda lining up. They're only committing about one player to each breakdown. Everyone else is waiting in the defensive flanks and really slamming South on every attacking play. Rory goes through. Bonda over the top of this. Get the penalty.
Wow. I'm tired watching that.
It was a massive set of play there from South, but the experience that we just saw from Bond, the patience, they just waited and waited and waited till they found that one precise moment.
Yeah, it just didn't generate a lot of front foot ball there, and when they were going back, they seemed to strike to width one or two occasions. So when you want to be flattening up, when you've bent that line a little bit. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they keep going to that sort of piston compact pattern.
Well, you said Todd Dammers has done a bit of homework on the videos. I think it's safe to say that Grant Anderson's done his as well.
Yeah. Now two very good coaches.
Clean throw from Turner. It's down to the back line. Menzies crashes it up right through halfway. Dylan throws in the right foot. Sees some open territory out back. What a splendid touch. Heads up rugby. Played the field as it lay in front of him.
Yeah, tremendous vision now pressuring South. I mean, they've just defended Bond for probably a good 3 or 4 minutes, 40-odd phases, I'd say, and now they've got an opportunity to put big pressure on the set piece.
More impressive, we're nearly 20 minutes in, still a scoreless match between these two sides.
Yeah, they're just trading punches. It's been a really physical start.
Driving Maul for South off that line out. It's out the back with Rutherford, who throws it on the boot for clearance. Waiting out the back. It's Grennan. And there's the toe from Dowd through to the back corner. Bond, they're playing field territory in a big way. And now Samoa's got a lot of work to do. He manages to get the offload off. South inside their 22. Good run there from KGT Lee Lamb. The kick for exit.
Yeah, touch, Frank.
Touched.
So it's big relief there for South.
Huge. It probably doesn't look the most fancy thing, but Luke Samoa just holding his feet there and getting through that. There was 3 Bond players honing in on him. That is, that's a game changer, that one right there.
We're getting that offload as well out the back. It was a great kick. It was a great kick from Dowd, but Samoa, that very sleek little offload. Now South with a lot of field in front of them. And they're going to get to work once more. They're going to look out wide. Boardman in defence. Oh, there was a potential intercept. But here goes Ripley. Ripley throws it onto the shoe. Running through is Siaki as well. But Dylan will swoop in. He's got to do something with it. Gets away from one defender. Gets away from 2. Dylan looking for his options. Gets away from 3. 4 defenders. Liam Dylan on the way, on the outside. Puts it into the hands of Thomas Grennan. The Argentinian Sevens player strides away for a wonderful full field try.
Outstanding. We mentioned at the top of the show last week they scored a couple of tries from their own half, and that counter-attack.
But they did it against Brothers. They scored
They
two
did.
unreal full field tries. Bond have this amazing knack for recovering hard inside their own 22, and they're not afraid to put the feet to the turf and go for 100 metres.
But that passage of play from South, like if Ripley can hold his feet there and stick that tackle, they shouldn't be hanging their heads in shame there. They should be confident that they're playing good footy. They just had great support play there, Bond.
And you think Liam Dillon, when he makes that counter and comes back, you dare say South were probably anticipating, the kick for exit, let's get ready for a line out. But how
Absolutely.
often do you say, oh no, we're just going to, schoolyard rules, we're just going to run it out of the 22 and see what happens?
Absolutely. It's good to watch, isn't it? It's really good to watch. But if
Conversion
successful there from Justin Bernstein.
If I'm Todd Dammers, I'm still energised by what's going on out there. That's a good enterprising football from Ripley. Put it on the toe. If they make that tackle, they've got, or indeed Dillon kicks the ball out, they've got set piece in the attacking 22. So they should keep their heads up here.
Obviously not to Melbourne. Winners will be notified by phone and be drawn on the 3rd of October 2020 at 4 p.m.
There's the restart.
Peter's got F+ as well. Thank you.
It's a good take there from Lachlan Connors up high. Dillon at the back.
Playing plenty advantage. Number 7 offside. No, he's pinned. Just let it come.
Early advantage against Kale Manu.
Forward pass.
So Bond now, once again, they're going to get piggybacked by a penalty from Souths into a favourable position.
Yep.
Yeah, clear as day. That one, maybe 2 metres offside, just creeping forward there, Manu. So, yeah, piggyback down the field. You don't want one to become 2 after 20 minutes of really good back and forth arm wrestle rugby.
So just never making it back there, Hoff, is that right? Yeah, righto. Thanks, mate.
There's a bit of daylight there between him and the rest of the defensive line.
Yeah, I think he got a call from the touchy there, James Farmer. And that's a
Sure
pretty obvious one, that one.
Sure it wasn't Hoff from this side.
I think it might have been.
Probably just didn't even use the radio because he's that old. Just he yells out.
It's gone backwards.
Another stolen line out from South. Palonga will get it and gets a wonderful offload to set up the continuation of play. Good touch there from Manu. So South's in possession. Prasad fires it through. Smith. And then the knock on from South will be cleaned up by Siggs, who charges over halfway, keeping it alive. Turner will throw a really wobbly one out wide to Rowe, who gets the offload.
Catches that, then there's trouble.
Just a myriad of not great passes there.
Yeah, I think I said the ball security is really good. I think I might have put the mocker on.
Hey, Luke.
Oh, you saw the soul of that pass from Nick Turner. It started well, but it just started to crumble as we got past about 5 metres. Luke Samoa, he's definitely a big, important inclusion to the South side looking into this season, especially with how many young guys we have. He's a very capped player, both domestically and internationally, for so many different teams. That the wealth of knowledge that he's going to be bringing, especially kind of shoring up the back of the field as well, very important.
Absolutely. I mean, Romanian international and obviously skipper of this side. If you're a young bloke, I think they might have 7 or 8 Colts from last season, even Colts this year, that they'll just be lapping up what they're learning from him.
Big push from Bond.
Dropping behind.
But that penalty will go against Egan Six, dropping his bind. So we're seeing a couple of full-on penalties coming away against Bond in the scrum.
Yeah, and I think Egan Siggs might have had a bit of feedback for the ref there as well about that call. So hopefully he keeps his discipline, stays on the field.
Kick from Prasad. It's better this time. Down that right-hand side. You can see that Wind is rustling in pretty hard, left to
Picked
right
up.
on screen, yeah. That's springtime and some of those afternoon northerlies.
Well, normally at Ballymore, when you're in August in a non-COVID world, the Ekka winds are horrendous. So you're trying to kick as many high balls as possible. And the lineouts are horrific.
And a costly mistake here from Bond. We'll see Souths now with a golden opportunity inside 22, feeding the scrum.
Yep. He's doing it to me. I'll pass it. Yeah, I'll have a look. Yep.
And it was a good steal, but just never seemed like they were in control.
Make sure we're keeping gap on line as well. Yeah. So.
Yeah, excellent opportunity here for South. Interesting to see here with their second crack in the attacking 22, whether they stay with that really compact pattern and try and go through the Bond forward pack, who are quite resilient last time around.
Well, Bond had the perfect counter for it. They were waiting. There wasn't any doubt that Bond were in control of the engagement.
Correct.
Completely. They got them back close to the 22, and then once fatigue set enough in, they went in looking and they found.
Yeah. And a lot of the tackles were back towards the previous breakdown, and just there was stacks on there multiple times.
Head off, thanks. Bye. Set!
Rutherford throws it through. Edging forward, he's had enough. Prasad goes himself through the line, breaks through, and he is over. South Magpies try time to number 10, Roman Prasad.
45 phases last time, the attacking 22. This time they just go straight through.
And what a spirited run it was from Prasad. He had options on the inside and the out, but he just saw the light and sliced right through.
Yeah, ball in two hands to start. I think he transfers it to his left, gets his big right hand, fend on. Excellent carry, straight through under the sticks. A 5 will quickly become 7, you'd think.
Yeah, but there's...
I think there'll be about 4 defenders beaten on that run. Very impressive.
Yeah, not a good one if you're in the Bond video room on Monday.
So good combination there between Prasad and his inside centre, Henry Smith. Henry, obviously, one of 2 twins, and that'll be conversion successful.
Yeah, and I'm reliably informed that the Smith family that are in New Zealand and England are watching live right now. I don't know, do they wake up early? Maybe they watch the replay, but I ran into the father before, so...
How good.
Yeah, we're going around the world.
We're always around the world, baby. We're wide. Now back to the middle, it's 7-all here at Chipsywood in the 27th minute of play.
Trying to manage that, but yeah, I'll have a look there, mate. No worries.
Don't forget you can watch it live on your
Restart from Bernstein.
Today, if you go to the Queensland Rugby website and follow the links, it's the matches that are being called.
South field it deep in their own 22.
On the ball, not the man, please.
So check that out if you get your iPhones on, you can watch it up close.
Prasad fires it out, finds the hands of Munro. Maul's called. This could be a big opportunity here for Bond, and they do seize it.
I'm sure they've got their reasoning. I'm just not understanding why they're playing so much ball in their 22 here, especially with the breeze over their shoulder in this first half. They've actually, you don't want to give Max Dowd time and space, but they've actually got some good pay to their kicking game so far.
Load up on the top of the shoulders, please. Keep the gap. You guys are both moving forward and need you to hold the gap. Let's get on with it, Thanks.
Physiotherapy. This is the Hospitals Cup. Is the women's game will start at 5:30 with the kick-off there. You're welcome to stay around as long as you please advise.
So another scrum, this time Bond inside the South 22. A few minutes ago, roles reversed and saw Roman Prasad crash over. What have Bond got?
It's a big moment in the game. Midfield scrum, 10 out, 15 out.
Fumble at the back.
Massive.
From Declan Dinnan, and South will get the ball back inside their 22. So some resilience here from the Magpies.
It's 2 occasions now. There was one down that left wing before South scored their try where Stow was knocked on. I think he probably could have scored if he caught it. And now this opportunity goes as well. So a couple of missed opportunities for Bond. South's fighting hard, but...
We are seeing, obviously, since last week in the forward, Zach Moy and Luke Papworth. Zach Moy apparently a PCL injury. And Luke Papworth pinged the hammy, I believe, in warm-up last week, or during the match he did the hammy. So a few key changes there for the scrum setup, and obviously Zach Moymoy was packing in at the second row, which is, I think, a real fundamental position when it comes to scrums, because the scrums right now, they're just they're so valuable.
Absolutely. I mean, you see there, if we, maybe the ball wasn't clean there at the back. I'm not too sure. Maybe we're being a bit kind of Deneen, or Deneen, sorry. Yeah, scrum obviously a massive part of the game.
Rutherford throws this one, another big push from Bond.
Big shove.
And now they get the penalty. Boardman has got ball in hand at the back, and he's not going to go.
Bond front row just reminding them what happened.
Shot, please. Not staying
So-
straight under pressure.
Yeah, I don't know too much about a scrum. I'm not going to lie to you, but if you watch that, they pushed harder.
One thing that I'm taking away from this match, that I think Souths are going to have to be careful of last week. I think they got a little hot under the bonnet last week, and we saw a couple of yellow cards for the South stuff for just, when you look back at it, really, unnecessary and could have been avoided stuff. And I think they've got to not hamstring themselves with that this week, because
And here we go again, as you speak. Flaring up again.
it's that time of the year. It's spring. There's pollen in the air. People's sinuses are flaring up, and it's making them agitated on the field.
Gives us a chance to assess the haircuts again, but with everyone in close quarters.
Well, there are some cornrows, I believe, on Dillon Row, which are trending.
I'm good with those.
It's probably not as good as Andy Muirhead's.
No. That'd have to be very good.
They're quite good cornrows on Andy Muirhead.
Hey, Dan.
There's a few people, they'll be in the principal's
Just
office
keep-
here.
Hold their 10.
One thing to have a little handbags after a scrum, but when it flares up,
We don't need that crap, eh? I don't know what chat's being thrown either way, but we don't need players walking up. We're setting up for a penalty. You guys don't need to engage either. Sort it out. We don't want any more of that, please. Pass the message on.
In the backs defence, both of those captains are respective backs. I think all the handbagging is front row related.
correct, yeah.
I don't understand you would ask the referee would ask the respective captains to settle it down, but really, what front row is going to listen to an outside back?
And the front rowers are just enjoying a breather.
And that'll be penalty conversion successful. So Bond take a 3-point lead, 10-7 in the 30th minute of play here in the first half for our sixth round. The 2020 All Sports Physiotherapy Hospital Challenge Cup.
Sometimes those scrums really fascinate me. I genuinely I don't have much of an idea about them, but like you look at them, you go...
Is that your disclaimer? You say, I don't know much about them, then you just proceed to say whatever you want.
Sometimes I feel like Damon Murphy. I just got no idea about a scrum.
Wow.
Just cue text from Damon if he's watching.
There's a restart from Prasad. Whoa! Whoa!
That's nasty.
Holy buckets. And Stowers has just gone up incredibly high, but I believe it was Jake Upfield that he kind of got stuck on and it flipped him around. We might be able to get a replay of that. So, wowee. Ryan Stowers comes through. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was Rowe.
Is that dangerous position, red card?
I don't know what it is. I think it's friendly fire.
Good to see he's up and walking, but that was nasty.
Well, you live by the sword.
Yeah. Oh, we have here a scrum to Bond, I suppose.
Yeah, well, because he knocked it on.
Oh, he knocked it on?
When he fell down,
I was just looking at him fall.
Yeah. I think it was Connor Pritchard that was underneath. I don't think Pritchard did anything wrong.
No, I think he'll be buying Stowers a beer later, but that's...
Yeah, I think Stowers maybe has to buy him one.
Maybe they just have a carton together and sort it out.
Well, it's a long drive down to the M1. 24. And a penalty now to South. So this Bond scrum has worn the majority of penalties this afternoon. And it'll be interesting to see if they go tit for tat here and maybe hunt for the points while on offer.
Shot, Luke. Yep. Shot,
and they are.
Yeah, just 10 seconds. We'll just get this
It's really been a tit-for-tat kind of game this afternoon, Ben.
Really enjoying it. There's been a couple of crucial moments we highlighted before where Bond probably haven't taken their opportunities, but South are fighting really hard here.
Well, we've seen 2 tries from spectacular line breaks. We've seen 2 penalties from faulted scrums just in front.
Yeah. I mean, that try that Liam Dillon ignited down the right side, he was outstanding, wasn't it?
It will look really good on the sizzle reel.
Absolutely.
After this game.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're becoming quite notorious for those full field efforts. So the creativity that they have
Collapsing under pressure.
to run with it, the whole full field. A big kick here now to tie it all up. 10 points all. Strikes. And he won't get it. So it'll be a restart for Bond on the 22. Penalty conversion unsuccessful. South still trailing Bond 7 points to 10. Bernstein.
Fair roost.
Yeah, bit of run on that one. Now, South beginning their pilgrimage back down. Smith's got a dive on that one, but Bond have flooded the ruck, but Rutherford will still have ball in possession. Big driving tackle there. Nick Turner and George Blake.
This Bond defence is physical.
It's sharp. Round the corner, South looking to make something happen. There was Dean. Back door, and Prasad will kick for clearance. And the aerial man goes back up again. And he gets whacked as soon as he touches the ground. But I think he might have been whacked while he was still in the air. And that might be what we are heading back for.
We might get benefit of replay, but live I thought that looked a good, well-timed tackle.
I think, it is timing for the penalty, for hitting. Stowers.
It's touch and go. Actually, no, I'll give James Palmer that. I reckon he's got in just before. Palmer 1, Travers 0.
Stowers is having a rough day in the air.
Yeah, I think he might hold his feet the next one. Good on him.
Attacking opportunity here for Bond inside the South's 40-metre line. Good take there from upfield. It goes through the hands. Stowers gets the offload to Boardman, who gets cleaned up by his opposite Siaki. Pick and go from Menzies. Dillon works out to the left into the hands of Turner, who's met hard, and the ball's been flopped around and knocked on in the process by South. So attacking scrum here for Bond, but it's not necessarily a good thing because we're seeing a lot of penalties at scrum time, especially in the Bond camp.
Absolutely. It seems like the team's signed an agreement at the start of the game not to use the 15-metre channels. They're just trying to punch you. Like, it's a great contest. It's both defences getting off the line.
They're playing tight 5 rugby, 15 to 15.
Absolutely, yeah. it's just, get everyone in there.
So that's a real kind of 3rd, 4th grade mentality. If you're a 1 to 5, you're allowed to, you're between the 15s except for set piece.
I watched a bit of Brothers 6th grade last night, and it was more expensive than this, but it's a very physical battle. This is excellent to watch, don't get me wrong.
As in they were walking a bit further to get a beer.
There's a few beers had.
Straightening up there was Grennan, the try scorer, the only try scorer for Bond this afternoon. Dillon, short ball in for Connors. Bond getting a march on, now it'll be Pritchard. Oh, and they've missed that opportunity, knocked on by upfield. South have regathered, and there's the clearance kick from Rutherford.
No, it was inside and advantage is over.
So, really interesting game this afternoon, and Souths really show a lot of resilience inside their own 22.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, defensive grit is outstanding.
But you can say that both sides. Bond have been sharking around in the defensive lines all day.
Absolutely.
They've won their
Love
line
that
out.
sharking thing too. That doesn't go unnoticed. That's awesome. I don't know about that vantage call before. I mean, he's kicked it out in his 5 metre line. They could have got a scrum, got a better clearance than that, I would have thought.
Menzies, short ball to Boardman. Boardman will bust through. He gets some support from Menzies, who follows up the tackle. Dillon works it back to the short side. Dowd throws the cutout through to Stowers, the airman himself, but he'll throw a wayward pass to the sideline. That green headgear, it's a real beacon for people.
Standing out, isn't it? Yeah. It's flying through the night.
Yeah, you know when he's coming.
Just very wasteful with some good opportunities here, Bond, this first half. I reckon the message might be just to, whilst they've been very patient with ball in hand, so too have South. They're just these last passes are a couple of drop balls. We saw that one before, the pass was behind the man.
$1,000 travel voucher. Raffle, $5 a ticket, 3 for 10, 10 for 20.
Good take there from Munro. South pack it in for the maul. Rutherford watching calmly from the back. It'll be pulled out by Forey, he then takes it down. Now it's time for Rutherford to act. They'll throw it onto the right-hand boot. That's a very contestable kick going through. Another aerial contest, and Stowers, fearless, takes it high. And that'll be penalty advantage. Dillon was interfered with. Rowe. Corn Rowe.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
We're on fire today. And they'll go back for the penalty.
Stowers has spent more time in the air than on the grass today. Excellent kick from Billy Rutherford. I mean, they're going to keep pressuring him.
I'm just more impressed he keeps fronting up.
He's more worried about his own teammates taking him out than...
A wonderful kick from the back by Rutherford. Really impressed. Super contestable. But the fearlessness from Rutherford.
If you're South, you got to contest that breakdown. I mean, Bond got to work back to get around to the breakdown. I reckon South need to have a crack at that breakdown post a box kick or a bomb.
It'll be time for Turner once more to fly one in for his forwards. It's taken well out the back by upfield. Now they're going for the maul option. It's been peeled off, taken away by Blake. 3 metres out. The pick and go from Deneen. Dillon letting the forwards rumble it to the line in the final 30 seconds.
Come off. He's right to play the ball and then he's dived. I'm happy that he's dived through. There's no issue there. Thanks.
Hey, it's a try. Liam Dillon made the best call possible.
Who's behind? I thought it was okay.
And try time for Bond University in the dying seconds of the first half. And we'll take it here in nice and close.
Hey, no, it was okay. It was okay. Yeah, all good.
On the LCL scoreboard,
I think the issue here was when he got James Palmer consulted Duncan Maher was just whether he promoted the ball, but you're allowed to move it. Oh no, not at all.
Oh, wow. He
Right arm.
could be diving into some 50 metres. What a try.
Straight through the middle.
Yeah.
$6, crumb sausages with sauce, $3.50. The smoked barbecue pork with fresh coleslaw, $7.
Very acrobatic
Smoked
from the
barbecue
second
pork,
rower.
bacon,
And now a very
egg,
important
cheese,
kick.
$9. Great for cardiac surgeons. 6 chicken nuggets. $5 beer battered chips with gravy.
Bond
chicken
really
with
looking
salt.
to ice the cake here.
$4 large is $7. Get yourself a beer. Make sure when you grab that beer, don't forget about the COVID regulations. We must sit down,
Bernstein
and all that food is takeaway as well.
pushes it out to the left. It'll be conversion unsuccessful. Bond heading into the break with a lead. 15 points to 7 over the home side. South, really interesting first half there, Ben. We're seeing great defensive efforts from both teams when they're getting in close proximity to their lines, but some rushed play.
Yeah, particularly from Bond. Wasted a few opportunities. I think they could probably potentially have 1 or 2 more tries. For South, the interesting thing for me in the second half will be to see how they attack, whether they're happy to play out of their 22 or whether they're going to revert to a more kicking game. But the defensive intent from both these sides has been excellent, very physical and good to watch.
So before we go to the half-time here, Ben, what's South's got to do to get themselves the W and the Bunter Bowl for this game?
Well, I don't know if the pattern's working to take on the Bond forwards, because as you sort of pointed out, they're reading that, they're getting up off the line, they're sort of umbrellaing in defence and they're just teeing off on them on that piston pattern. So they need to be able, it all comes down to getting front foot ball and then getting the width. So I think they might play with a bit more width from 9 and play more on the edges, I'd say, in the second half. And as I said, I think we might need to play a bit more of a territorial game as opposed to playing too much rugby in their own 22.
And if Bond want to have that Bunter Bowl heading back down the M1 with them today?
Yeah, I think, I just like Stowers has been really active in counter-attack, I suppose, but they haven't really, very similar, I suppose, to South. Like, we haven't seen Max Dow get ball in hand a lot. I think Bond's probably the better side, to be fair. I think South are doing a really good job to fight. I think Bond just need to be a bit more patient and composed in those opportunities where they're, those last passes are going forward or to the ground or whatever it might be. I think they're going to create plenty of opportunities in this second half.
Well, it's half time. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with all the second half action in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
The 1.5 metre apart, but nice clean.
Excellent year-on-year growth for the 2020 Darling Downs Super Schools Cup. 2019 was year one. We started with a good number of schools, but what we've really noticed in year two is the increase in skill level and the commitment from the colleges.
During COVID, it was pretty tough. We do a league and union, and it all got cancelled. We were really fortunate that Darling Downs Super Schools Cup wanted to keep going, and it gave the boys something to aim for, and it really kind of lifted the mood in the college altogether, not just with the guys who play rugby. It's getting bigger and better every year. We started off pretty shaky last year, and this year to come away with 2 premierships in the under-13s and the Opens, it's unreal.
Yeah, it's very, very, very special. As you mentioned, most of us boys didn't think we were going to get any rugby at all this year, and obviously the Darling Downs come through, and it was a very, very good season from the boys.
The rugby season's been great, really. It's given us an opportunity to play footy on our level, and it's been a really close competition all season. And then obviously it's disappointing not to get the win tonight, but we played a hard game. We fought to the last minute and was unlucky to go down by 1 point.
We got a couple of guys from last year playing rugby at the moment, and there's about 10 guys finishing this year, so we're hoping at least half of those get into either Downs rugby or a couple of moving for uni to Brisbane, so hopefully they'll be playing Colts down there.
Off the back of the Darling Downs Super Schools Cup, we get more and more players interested in rugby. They're talking to their schoolmates, and it's benefiting the whole region, and that'll translate over the years into senior rugby, so it's just fantastic.
We can set the pace of the game, we control the pace. Got to be more accurate with our skills, okay? At line out, at carry time, hold our depth, execute our skills with our cat pass. On our rip reload, we've just got to be aware, let's make the carry down, eyes up, nothing gone. Play, and like you said, let's multiple touches on that inside. Now, I will open up space out wide for us. Like we come up in one thing, defend a bunch of us. That's what's going to happen.
And we are back. It is half time here. Souths hosting Bond for the Bunter Bowl. My name is Martin Libya. Joining me, Ben Travers. Ben, mate, there are some interesting scores from around the ground. Obviously, it's a close affair here, 15 points to 7 in favour of Bond. But what's been happening elsewhere in clubland?
I will tell you, mate, just before half-time, East 18, North Zip. Not registering anything at the moment, the Northies. Uni out at Yoku, 12-7 half-time leaders, which you'll be happy about, I presume.
Hey, I'm just happy
you're
it sounds
impartial?
like, I'm Switzerland, mate. I'm Switzerland. I'm always on the fence. I'm a fan of good rugby, and 12-7 tells me there's probably some good rugby happening out there, much like there is here.
Absolutely, and the West Sunnybank game where we've got Digby Ione on the bench for Sunnybank, of course. Don't know whether he's on or not yet, but 21-19 at half-time to the Bulldogs.
So I think it's safe to say he hasn't come on yet.
Or he scored 3 for Sunnybank.
Well, we're going to get back to the action here at Chipseywood, and it has been a very tight affair. We've seen very close, tight scores between these sides, and both have scored absolutely cracker tries. We've seen a full field effort, and I'd say I'm calling it a free willy. You know when he jumps over the wall to free himself? There's a bit of a free willy moment there for Bond at the breakdown at the try line, but then the slicing attack from South.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, South conceded that sort of breakaway 90, 85 metre try, which they did well to come back from that because it got close to them conceding 2 in a row. They've fought hard. Late one before half-time doesn't help, but they just need to keep up to the mark here. I think Bond are going to create a lot of opportunities in this second half. If they ice them, it could get ugly, but I think this young South team will fight hard.
It'll be interesting too now. South have got this big win behind them. Let's see if there's any points in that.
Absolutely. Yep, for sure.
Because we can see in the background here, those trees are really copping it. That northerly wind blowing hard over the backs of the South's players now. So 40 minutes remaining. And that man on screen, Roman Prasad, like a hot knife through butter. Wonderful try in the first half, off the back of a strong South scrum.
Into the second half, the score now is Bond University 15, South Magpies 7.
So got to be careful not to kick it too hard. We are away, second half, round 6 of the 2020 All Sports Physiotherapy Hospital Challenge Cup. And the ball has gone back and forth, and now it's back to Stowers, who gets his bell tower rung by his opposite.
Lamb.
Holy moly. It is a hard day in the office. Stowers. Wow.
Yeah, he's going to be a sore man tonight.
Hey, he's Humpty Dumpty today. He just keeps falling off the wall.
But he gets back up every time.
Yeah, and we see
story.
this restart here, and once again, the magic man, Polonga, ends up, but then he's lost it forward, and then... Stowers just wears a hefty bit of contact, but Bond back in possession. Dylan throws it in. He's looking for it out the back, but it's got to be picked up by Deneen, and he takes it up himself. Now Dylan reloads. He's got a bit of traffic to work through. Sees some space, goes himself, but he's brought down. Ball's been stripped and lost. Now Prasad shows, goes, puts on the burner. Stiff fend into the face of Pritchard. Munro now. Rutherford hits Sulisiausi. Rutherford. Bounce off one. Advantage to South. Smith breaks over the 22. Polonga.
He's getting through some work, the big man, isn't he?
Wobbly pass out the back will eventually find Lamb. They're going to bring it back for the penalty.
Take the points here, you'd think. Lucas Ripley was about to take the quick tap.
No, he wasn't that fat. Look at that big grin.
Good start to the second half for South. They've come out. They've effected 2 good turnovers in defence already. I love watching that fend from Prasad, that right-hand fend we saw in the first half where he sliced through for the try.
Been supporting South as a major sponsor of South Rugby. Continuously
Cheeky.
signing
Just joshing.
76 and Jeff McLean of the Indus Group's investor
Can play, that kid.
property in Brisbane.
Yeah, give him that.
Rents out massive size buildings in various locations. He's also involved in research of the motor neurone disease through the Queensland
Samoa
Brain
from in
Institute
front.
at UQ via the Ross McLean Fellowship. We'd like to thank our principal club partner, Index.
Oh. And it has been regathered despite the ball crashing into the left upright. There is Sulisiausi. They're going to keep working to the blind side. Rutherford goes through the moguls to avoid defenders. Now Bond, they're going to want to settle in here for the defensive long haul. They favoured it in the first half. Polonga again. Another hard run, but he's hit hard by upfield.
Just love to see him drop his height a bit on his carries, Polonga.
South looking to make their way in. Pick and go from Sulisiausi. And I think Polonga's actually down injured. Ironically, it might have something to do with the comment you made about his running in height. And I guess this is a real indicator for everyone at home. Even if you have a look at this, say, oh, they might not be hitting each other that hard. They are.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. He might have been just put in a bad position at the bottom of a breakdown or copped a stray boot or something. We'll see it here, I suppose. I think it's there. He copped that knee to the back of the head potentially. But as I said before, I'd just like to see him get that ball in the other hand and get the ball away from contact and drop his height. He's obviously got enough behind him to make some yards, but I think he'll do a better job of punching those weak shoulders if he just gets the ball away from contact and drops his height a bit.
Yeah, that'd be pretty average. A diving knee to the forward and the back of the head.
Yeah, he's got a bit of padding there with the bun, but I don't know if it's done any good to him. He's up, which is nice.
I guess that's a big change we've seen in the game in the last couple of years. Obviously, the introduction of HIAs and especially a lot of the awareness around head-related trauma. It's an important part of the game, man.
Yeah, I mean, and as a former coach, I suppose it's you just don't take any chances. Like, you've got to listen to the advice because there's much more important things than rugby when you're 60 years old.
And there are much smarter people than us making calls on this kind of stuff.
Correct.
So big scrum here for South, 5 metres out. Rutherford rolls it through. Bond have tried to put South on skates, and they have. Big moment. Liam Dillon is fosking around. And he goes quickly. Liam Dillon, he's off the mark. Oh,
jeez.
You know,
I wanted to see that.
We've got to be ready for Liam Dillon to be going off the mark inside 22 because he'll do it.
He'll do it.
He'll do it.
Ironically, he was just off the mark there, so James Palmer has called him back.
Bond puts Souths on skates. Bond were like the little kid running down the hallway and he's jumped onto the carpet. It's just squashed up in front of him. Just folded it all over.
Like yeah.
Or like the top of a Viennetta.
Yep. Had a fair share of Viennettas.
Yep. Oh, wonderful ice cream. There's clearance. Taken well
we
by Samoa. Out the back. Throws in a hefty left foot, but he's brought down by 6. Straightening up will be Manu. It's a bit of a pop in the stride of South now. They've got some momentum. Manu once more.
Just playing with a bit more width now. Rutherford passes are a bit longer.
Fourie. Looking to the right-hand side through Sedu. Rutherford. He's zigzagging. His attacking sets. Now he's going to work it over to the left. Not before the penalty is given away from some great breakdown etiquette from Bond.
Yep, first to the breakdown, good position. We haven't seen too much of that today because they've been playing so tight, so the support play's been there. So the clear and obvious pilfer opportunities have been few and far between, but that one, he's firmly on the ball there. He is in a strong position. His man behind him latches on.
Fins were up, mate.
They were. Another one. You've got them all.
Mate,
Do you write these down beforehand?
No, I think this is I'm newly been a father in the last year and a half, and
right.
now it's
Dad
acceptable.
jokes.
It's
Yeah.
acceptable. It's acceptable for me to be.
Well, because I presume you haven't. Yeah, I presume you haven't pre-scripted a Magpies one, so I challenge you to get one out before the end.
One might fly in.
Oh no.
Welcome to Chipsy Wood. Taken clean. Good throw from Turner. Now out the back. Straightening up from Menzies. This is hard. Fast running from the inside centre. Dillon recycles. Look to his short side. Stowers gets rid of it. Good pass off to Pritchard, who keeps it in the field of play but turns it over. So South inside their own 22. Wonderful banana off that right boot, but it's not going to find touchy. All it'll find is Ryan Menzies out the back, who offloads it to the Argentinian, Grennan. Now they're going to work out to the right-hand side. Boardman will straighten up, bust through, gets a huge offload to Menzies, inside through to Dillon. Another oh, wow.
The young fella's done well there.
He swooped in and stole it.
Tell you what, this is good play from Bond. That return play back from set piece 5 or 6 phases ago was excellent.
Now South under the pump, less than a metre from their try line. Bond are circling. And there's the clearance from Rutherford. It's a splendid touch, but it won't leave the field of play. And now a drop goal. Excuse me? Took the words out of my mouth. Now Samoa. You can almost see a little bit of insult in his face when he kicked that one with such a brazen drop goal attempt. And now
I think they need a breather.
Stowers.
What happened?
I don't know.
That's into the breeze too.
I don't know what that drop goal was at all. But
how about Ripley here?
And we talked about it in pre-game. Menzies, Boardman and Liam Dillon, 3 playmakers, and here are the 3 of them right now feeding off one another.
Yeah, just connecting.
And the line-out has fallen by way of Bond. Siggs has cleaned it up at the back. And the ball's been lost forward now. Prasad.
They just keep finding away, South, don't they? I mean, they're showing up. I think I'm on the South train here.
Well, we are.
It's coming.
We are. Chipsy Wood.
Yeah. I don't want to get bashed. I want to walk out of here.
I don't think you would get physically assaulted if you were going for Bond or South here. I just want to make that
disclaimer. Yeah.
We're not brothers. No, they're good too. Everyone is very good here in Premier Rugby land. Except you, Ben.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. This is really good. I mean, South's got to be taking some confidence out of this. 11 minutes, they've done a lot of defence in the second half. I'll tell you, young Rutherford, I know he had the breeze there, but even his one in the first half, he's box kicks.
I'm still stuck on the drop goal.
Well, I mean, what's he doing?
Yeah, what a moment. Sure.
Sort of just centred at midfield. Like, really?
It was the Waratahs front rower.
Dunning. He slotted it.
Dunning did
and he's like, what did I just do?
Like, we just had a Matt Dunning
One of the great moments.
We had a Matt Dunning moment on the right-hand side.
Here it is.
He's not halfway. He's 55 metres away into the wind.
I think Dylan Rowe might have been. He's just throwing his arms up in the air going, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm broken.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, Louise. That was... We'll scrap the whole Premier Grade intro video for just 3 minutes of that drop goal on repeat next week. Oh, dear. Oh, whew.
What would be great is if he actually slotted one down. We just have to
redemption.
Yeah, we just have to eat our words.
Oh dear. Oh, not enough laughter in the world these days. Rutherford throws it in. Bond, big push, and they've turned it. Dillon, short side, slices up. Bernstein, who gets made.
Good to see that whole scrum get up because that was nasty.
Rutherford recycling some clean ball here. He's looking for his players out to the left. He's playing in the wider channels. Good touches from Forey. Now Samoa will take the settler in the middle of the field. Clearance kick from Rutherford, touched by the Bond defenders though, so Stowers is going to have to work hard to get this one.
Well, his touch is taken back.
Ooh.
Scrum time, will it? Or... No, not touch, not sure. This Rutherford's box, his kicking game in general is first grade.
He's really shown up in the second half, hasn't he?
Yeah. And he had one in the first half too, where
he's also got that wind behind him now.
He does,
well,
yeah.
So they can run like smoke and oak. Bernstein punching it low. It's going to wobble its way into the hands of Prasad, who finds some more. Straightens up. Fearless running from the captain. Cut out ball to Smith. Links up with Rupley. That'll be lost forward, so Bond will get the ball. I think this win, obviously we're in the wonderful comfort of the South's clubhouse and we're not out there and think of it, but if you can take anything from the wind that we're seeing out there, it's I think probably a pretty advantageous thing to have behind you.
Yeah, I think South will feel like they're running downhill here. I'm just waiting for Wade Sedu to do something big here. I reckon there's maybe we've just missed a bit. I don't think we've seen the involvements that we'd expected from him just yet, so I'm expecting him to bring something really soon.
Well, he's one of the more aged mans on the team. Obviously, the former Jeeps player. He graduated from Nudgee in 09, and obviously he's had stints with the Broncos and the Storm under-20s program. And I'm told, I haven't tuned into it, but apparently he has a massive following on the online streaming platform Twitch.
Does he?
He's a gamer, yeah. I think he plays...
Not a Twitcher myself, but...
COD, I believe,
okay.
is his pleasure. Now,
that
wow.
might be forward.
Yeah, well, there's the 22, and Stowers is about 10 metres in front of it.
Even Stowers couldn't dive.
And that's into a headwind too.
Great defence, but great defence. They keep showing up here.
So, Bond really feeling it, and that was a big pressure pass from Grennan as Lamb came hurtling towards him.
Yeah, he had him in his peripherals pretty early there.
It's a pretty simple thing to say, just concentrate on your pass and throw it out. But at some element, you do worry about yourself a little bit, and it does.
Absolutely. Those ribs,
affect your ability to maybe execute as perfectly as you wish.
For sure, yeah. And that's excellent defensive pressure. A big moment here for South, I think. Big moment. Scrum's been on skates a little.
25 minutes of this match remaining.
Just get that ball out.
Pick and go from the back. Sedu didn't have support. Ooh, Dillon looked for a cheeky grab, but Prasad will offload it to Smith. Corey. And we got good meters off that one. To the short side. Samoa goes, hits the deck.
Ball on the ground.
Corey again. Hooker. Getting some high. Oh, and Rutherford scoops it up from the bottom of his shoelaces. Avoids the knock on. They're without a halfback.
That one. No.
Manu.
Great support play.
Against Rowe. Siaki. Forey again. Third hit up in the last 60 seconds. Now looking inside ball to Lamb, but they read it like a book. Now Souths turning into a game of attrition in this attacking set. Will they yield in defence? Now they've got advantage. Siaki straightens up. Stowers misses his tackle. Siaki still going. Strong run from the outside centre.
Stay there. You got penalty advantage, 9.
Oh, big cut out. They've got numbers out to the left. Straightening up was
trouble.
Munro. Now they're going to keep looking forward.
Great
South with the penalty advantage. Show and go from substitution. Walsk. Now they'll pick and drive, where this all began probably about 15 phases ago.
Lost backwards.
Lost from the back. The new substituted front rows. Pick and go will be Dean. He was isolated, but support finds a way to get there. South etching closer. Sedu darts back towards
still advantage, 9.
his support players. They've still got advantage. Prasad shows and goes. A big fend. Slices through one defender. He's still going. 2 metres out.
Lost forward over there, no advantage.
But they'll bring it back. 20-odd phases, I would say.
Easy. Interesting decision here. They've already taken a shot at goal before. Unsuccessful. Scrum. If I'm Todd Dammers, I'm telling Billy Rutherford to throw it in sideways from now on. They're taking the kick.
Take points, put it to 5 points.
Can get a bit closer this time. No, thank you, mate.
I think everyone would be happy to have a bit of a breather.
That was good. There was a great ball and all. I missed who it was on Henry Smith. Great ball and all tackle in that. I think Henry got out of that a bit ginger.
What a live wire Roman Prasad's been.
Oh, his fend is amazing.
And that'll be conversion successful.
There's Henry.
There's Smith, one of the Smith twins, Henry Smith. Bit of claret coming out of the old nostrils.
You got Met.
He's all good.
His brother Hugo will be in the 21 jersey. Both Nudgy 2018 graduates. Real nudgy flavour actually in the south side, which is
there is.
ironic.
There is, yeah. They got a lot of great halfbacks down here too.
Waiting wide. Okay.
Weighted kick with the wind. Stowers is fetching it from just in front of his own 22. Here comes the counter. Throws it onto the left. He had Dowd on his outside. Oh, he finds it. Despite the conditions, finds great touch.
Excellent, but pressure on the set piece again here for South. Just back to the halfbacks. You've got Rutherford playing. He's really tight. Hugo Smith on the bench, who you mentioned. Kalani Thomas is just out our window here, who's obviously a great young talent in the Colts program here. I think they've got a couple others too that rotate through the first grade, second grade, third grade.
And Rutherford's had to work really hard there to hold on to that one. Too hard, it would seem. Bond affect the turnover with a penalty. I think the Bond players have had enough of that crab pot-sized dugout.
Social distancing. Got to aim up here, South. This is obviously really important.
We really haven't seen too many attacking lineouts in the red zone this game. It's been a lot of midfield 22 to 22, so this is a big opportunity. And we're seeing Billy Rutherford leaving the field. I think he's been pretty instrumental in the game today. He's had a lot of, he's been guiding the pack around the park pretty well.
Yep, I agree. Played very well. He'd be very happy with himself. Again, his kicking game really, really good.
Clean ball taken by upfield, driving maul, engaged by Bond. As we're into the final 20 minutes of this match, we can probably start seeing some substitutions coming on. Out the back, Nick Turner will just have to drop down because that was a dominant forward-moving, driving maul by Bond University, who extend the lead 20 points to 10.
Yeah, that was ACT Brumby-esque, wasn't it, who we'll see tonight, but really compact, got in there. South's really no chance once it gets rolling.
We're now going to that important phase of the game, and I think in the last few years, especially in Premier Rugby, the back 20, it's almost its own little game, because we're seeing big rotations of front rowers and forwards and a couple of utility backs bringing in just to ice things off. So I don't think we can really count any of these sides out this afternoon.
Not at all. The finishes are so important, and there's firepower across both the sides. In the 16 to 23 jerseys, I still think South is still running downhill with this win, so I'd be kicking deep here and asking Bond to exit and get to set piece in their half from this kickoff.
Now Bernstein from out wide, dealing with a lot of winds. He'll miss it. So Bond hold the lead, 20 points to 10 over the home side Souths here in the 62nd minute of play, and it looks like we've got some rolling subs for both sides. A tall figure, Kana Wong, rocking the Predator locks. He'll be looking to have an impact. It also looks like Regan Leslie is on the field for Souths also, number 20 jersey. So some fresh legs into the attack.
Henry Smith got about 34 seconds with his brother Hugo before he was benched.
And so Bond just hold on to that one. Dylan at the back. Into the hands of Connors. There's the kick from Menzies. Right down the throat of Samoa on the 40. Gives it off. Here goes Lamb. Straightens up. And Ripley. Oh, brilliant line, but it was all mistimed. Now Bond with the turnover. Pick and go from Blake. Pick and go from Blake. Pick and go from Blake. Wonderful run from the front rower. Oh, that is a barnstorming run from Jake Upfield. Oh, that is how you attack from depth, and Bond extend their lead 25 points to 10.
I'm giving that to the pick and go from Blake, but that was, what a carry. South retreating on their heels, and Upfield goes straight through.
A couple of big inhales right now for Upfield. But watch the depth that Upfield comes from on this line. And like you said, really started with Blake, and here comes Upfield. Choo-choo, freight train on the move, and no one was going to be slowing him down.
So hard to defend. So Blake gets his, obviously, it was a good call from you too. There was a pick and go from Blake, 10 metres, and then quick clean ball from the base of the ruck, and Upfield put great pressure on the South defence there to make a quick decision.
Now right in front, Bernstein hunting. No, I beg your pardon. Stowers gets the extras, so Bond extend the lead 27 points to 10, just on 14 minutes remaining in this game. 15 minutes. And the punter bowl currently looks like it's going to be getting back on that bus and heading down the M1 to the Gold Coast.
Yeah, they're touch of class here in the last 10 minutes from Bond.
Stowers. Oh, where's the seatbelt?
Try contact. Just slipped up there, fell around the neck. Your number there, Frank?
Dylan. He's going to work it around inside his own 40, but they're going to bring it back.
Hot tackle.
It's been a really hard day in the office for Stowers.
Do we do a man of the match?
I don't know. Punching bag of the match.
Just foul play, mate. Yeah.
Nothing sinister in that one.
No. No, that one probably, although he's still down.
Yeah, a bit of a slap across the face from a big loose forward hand. It'll ring the bell tower.
Yeah.
And while we do have a moment here, a special mention to Bruce Linton Land Rover and BMW, major sponsors of Bond University Rugby Club, for their long-term support of the club and grassroots rugby. It's always good going down there. You see a couple of real schmick rides greeting you as you walk into Bond.
It is.
over the years. Always dream about, what might be.
They cater quite well there too.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Always put on a good show down the M1.
Yeah. Long way to go, but it's worth it.
Is it really, though?
Well, I like my
food. Right. And a special thank you to the Index Group, major sponsor for South Rugby Club, for their long-term support of the club and grassroots rugby.
Step. Make a step. That's on you. Get him across. Back pod. Across. Step across, please.
In case you don't remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Reds host the Brumbies at Suncorp Stadium in round 10 of the Super Rugby AU tonight. Head to Reds Rugby to secure your tickets. Dylan fires it out.
Hot feet now.
Good hands from Bernstein, but Dowd won't be able to get hands on that one.
Who are you tipping tonight?
Who am I tipping tonight? Really? Well, obviously, I'm going to say the Reds, but I think, I look at tonight, so it's a big duel for, I think, Wallaby starting positions. I think everyone likes to sit in the Nick White camp purely based he's a little bit older than Tate McDermott, so I think there's going to be a big competition between Nella and Alan Alatoa. That's a big contest, and I think if you look across the park, there are a lot of competitions. Like, I can't even name the numerous outside backs which will all be competing. You've got Filippo, you've got Tom Wright, you've got Muirhead, you've got...
How good's Jock Campbell going this year?
Jock Campbell's got to be on the radar, and it's a big Wallaby squad this year, 40, 48.
It is. I mean, I just love our back row. It's phenomenal.
I think there's bigger things afoot, but now Souths making a march up the middle of the field. You stand in halfback. Hugo Smith from the 21.
Backwards, play on.
And South's really firing away, but it looks like there's some collateral damage for Bon Siaki. Goes 1-on-2, beats the first.
Penalty only, Frank. Frank, penalty advantage.
Out the back, they've got a numerical advantage. Fresh on is Wong. Wong's going down. He's turned the defence. Gets an offload to Samoa, but it won't be enough. And down in back play is Declan Deneen.
No arms in the tackle, number 15.
And I'm not sure what's happened there. The ref might have to just pause this one real quickly so they can deal with the injury, and he will. I'm not sure what happened there, but it was during that. I think he was in the first player in.
He went for a no-arms tackle himself and just... Oh, no, he just got his head in the wrong position, maybe.
What did he get trod on? I think he's gotten trod on as the guy was going through, but it's really raked into his ankle.
Yeah, he's limping.
A special thanks to All Sport Physiotherapy, the competition naming rights partner for 2020, for their ongoing support of grassroots rugby in Queensland. I think we have to probably take a moment here and say a big thank you to everyone behind the scenes, which is enabling us to even be here right now calling this, because not only are we very fortunate enough to be able to be playing, I think everyone is doing such a huge job outside of here to, in the face of COVID, that, big pat on the back for everyone, because, we can't be here doing this without the community around us all doing the right thing. So a big thank you to everyone there.
Yeah, and everyone here today is playing by the rules. South have really prepped it well and was doing the right thing.
Great hands up top from Leslie. Now South's trying their hand at a driving maul. It's at the back with Forey. He's getting isolated though because Turner's come through the middle. Yeah, now they've got penalty advantage.
Excellent maul.
Driving maul from South, 22 out, and they ploughed through for a try. I believe that was Angus Dean.
On the LCL scoreboard, the try to South, Index South Magpies 12.
See, if you South there, don't do the biffo, get back, we need more points if you South.
Well, they need to, because they're still trailing by 12. And based on what we've seen this afternoon, this isn't a certainty for either of these teams, because both are playing phenomenal rugby on the front foot, and what a great driving maul.
Great maul, and like you said before, close finishes in the Hospital Challenge Cup of late. More obviously, last week was exceptional. Could be on here. Could be on here.
Could have another inductee to that magical 80-minute club.
Could be. Who's kicking their goals?
Prasad.
Is it Prasad or Samoa?
No, it is Samoa.
Samoa, yeah. He's got it in him.
Well, now it's Awong.
Okay, I mean, we got it, but we're...
Awong.
That's why.
Nothing wrong with that. Gets it right over the middle. South closing in, 10 points the difference. 17 chases 27 here with 10 points, 10 minutes.
Been done before.
This is what you come to Chipsywood for. And Bond looking to kick for territory. And Samoa will load up the bazooka and send it way downtown. Holy smokes, that is a hell of a touch.
That's an excellent kick.
Big game from the captain and from out the back. And substitution, Hem Mapasua. Turner finds the hands of Rowe.
Good pressure on that kick.
Suya Javier is on the field too for Bond.
You take him back, I'd say, yep. Can't go quick there, but South's big opportunity. I mean, I've said it 14 times today, but they can get a try here. They go back to that maul, you reckon?
If it ain't broke.
No. Yes, go on.
Look at the big grin on Hoff on that far side.
Loving it.
It's just great to still see him in and around the comp. Oh, up the front.
No more.
Contact in the air.
Wow.
In possession.
Number 20.
Contact in the air.
Now they'll go to the maul. This will be 5 out if he's got his kicking shoes on. A bit further.
I believe that's Henry Radel in number 20.
That's it, get him across.
Taken well. So, driving maul is engaged. 4 is at the back. And now Splinter off to the right-hand side. Good momentum from the Magpies. A few metres out. They're still ploughing their way forward with penalty advantage into. Off the back quickly with no one in front of him.
Jesus.
Dylan Rowe ploughs through and gets a spectacular try. No one at home. And that impenetrable Bond defence. That's Angus Dean, I beg your pardon. Picks up his second.
Dean at the back, wasn't it? Yeah.
This driving maul was just brilliant from them. They plough all the way through. The defence gets very light on the left-hand side, and then up pops Angus Dean.
Outstanding. Tails are up here.
Wong looking for the extras. Big kick.
Ooh. Oh, he's got it.
And he nails it. We've got a 3-point game with 6 minutes to go.
Bond University 27 with 6 minutes to go.
It may come down to Wong having to potentially seal the deal or tie the game here at 27 or potentially. Big 6 minutes of footy here for South.
And the restart taken well by Samoa. Kick off the back from Smith.
Excellent kick.
Runs well.
Oof. Pressure on set piece. South is sprinting to the set piece.
Are we potentially in line for deja vu of last week?
Well,
what happened with Boston East?
We won't get, if we get a try, we won't get the fairy tale goal finish, but it may come down to, as I just said, Wong,
the curse or the blessing of the Bunter Bowl.
he might have to lock it up at some stage potentially if they get a penalty. Fans are vocal here.
Clean from Bond. Now they look out the back. Menzies straightens up once more, testing the South's defence.
No!
Dylan.
No, leave it. No, thanks. No, it's all good. Tackler had to roll there first.
Works through. Another good run there from Dylan Rowe. Bond with the narrowest of leads. 3 points. Boardman. Some zest in his step. Fractures the line.
5 minutes is a long time. South, they don't have to go for every breakdown here. Just a defensive wall. Get off the line with a bit of line speed. 5 minutes is it's gonna go forever.
Probably no drop goals.
We've seen enough of them today.
Dylan trying to slow this game down, getting control, trying to find some field position. Tied bodies on both sides. A converted try would be the candles on top of the cake for Bond this afternoon. But they're camped inside their 40-metre, and the wild pass out to Stowers before he brings it back into the centre of the field. Trying to look for an in, but he'll have support players next to him. Pick and go up the middle once again from Blake. Gets a good offload through to Turner, who finds Dylan. The wham-bam trio going through. Now Bond find themselves on halfway. 3.5 minutes remaining. Another pick and go from George Blake.
He must be the fittest prop in the bloody competition.
He's having a red-hot go this afternoon. Dylan at the back takes his time. Fast passing out wide finds the Argentinian Grennan, but a loose ball will be maintained. Siggs now going forward. Bond have gone 80 metres in set-piece phase play. Bernstein fires it off. Floating pass out wide to Pritchard, who manages to get past the first defender. Stowers going to assist, keep him in the field of play. Bond University grinding their way down the field. And Nick Turner gets bounced by the South's defence. Javier gets the offload. Menzies. 2 minutes 20. It's like dog ears for the players out there. Rowe. Javier, inside ball, finds Max Dowd, and Max Dowd puts it in. And you would have to think that is going to be a major nail in the coffin for this game. Still a conversion to come.
Excellent composure from Bond. Lovely little inside ball there.
And how are the hands from the substitute front rower Javier? Inside ball to Dowd.
Outstanding.
So 8 points the difference now, beyond a converted try. 90 seconds remaining. I think they're probably going to get about 40 seconds of crack at this. I think it's unlikely they're going to close that gap down.
You'd think so, yeah.
But I've seen stranger things.
They have happened before, but we did say before that Max, it'd be good to see Max Dowd touching the ball, and it's come at the right time. He's iced this game.
And it'll be unfortunate potentially for South here. They came so close in the opening round of official competition, going down by 1 point to Sunnybank, and they have really been in this competition for 79 minutes.
Absolutely, yeah, no, they can really hold their heads up. Great fight from a young side. and I think we highlighted at the top, they're realistic about what this year is for them in terms of the age group and what they're trying to achieve here. So this has been a really good display, excellent defensive intent from both sides, in fact. So plenty to like about South today.
Stowers doesn't really get a great contact on that one, but they'll have an 8-point lead. And I guess South have got to be thinking with 20 seconds to go, any points they can get will get them within 7. They're going to get a bonus point,
for sure,
which has to be their consultation right now.
Absolutely, yep. Penalty, take the 3, hopefully, for them.
Fielded by Pritchard, who'll, you wouldn't believe he's played 80 minutes of rugby after that. Charge back at the defence. Dylan's just going to wear this one down. Blake from the back. He's waiting till the referee says yes. Mustn't be much longer left in this match. It's heartbreaking for Souths. Watching the game pull away from them. If they can maybe turn over a penalty here, there could be an opportunity for something, but it looks like Bondi wanting to have one more lap of Chipsy Wood as they plough through. Boardman breaks through one, gets an offload through to Dylan. Dylan, he's got defenders all over him. He's looking for someone, anyone. Now the defenders have caught up. Dowd's there. There's Boardman. Show, go, ploughs in, falls short. Bond want one more. Menzies loses it. Back is the call. Stowers is now in possession. The ball's there for Bond. Playing to make a statement. Blake now. Impressive from Bond, sending a message out to the competition. We're here this year, and we're looking for that Hospital Challenge Cup. Another good run from upfield. Great line from Pritchard. Pick and drive going through the middle is Siggs, and he's over. Egan Siggs.
They play the 8 minutes, Bond. They got a try on the siren last week against East. That's excellent intent late in the game. How about that hit? 81st minute.
Huge. It looks like we might still have a bit of the cage might still be a little bit rattled out the back. But what intensity from Bond. We've seen them. It doesn't matter whether they are in their own 22. They're looking for the attacking play, whether it be running or kicking. And even now, with the game already won in the 83rd minute, they're ploughing over for hard-fought tries right at the death.
Yeah, well done. It'll be a good bus ride back down the coast tonight with the Bunter Bowl Cup. They probably didn't have their best stuff today, to be fair. A couple of execution errors in the first half, but they've grinded it out against a really gritty South side.
And to finish it all off, it's the one man who's had a harder game than a tackling bag at practice. And Stowers will look for the final points of the game. And what a finish it is. Bond University are the victors. They will retain the Bunter Bowl, beating South 39 points to 24 here at Chipsy Wood.
Yeah, excellent game of rugby. Really good arm wrestle. Bond just assert their dominance late, and they're a big contender this year, that's for sure.
They really are, and they have finally got their hand up at the part of the season where it matters most, right at the beginning. And they've now gone 2 from 2, taking down East, taking down South. Their eyes are going to be looking forward to what comes to them in the coming weeks. But if you had to pick a man of the match today, who is it?
That's very difficult, but I appreciate the question. Ryan Stowers is fantastic. I don't know if he gets man of the match. He gets a lot of kudos and maybe an ice bath. George Blake, front rower, late in the game.
Blake.
Yeah, it took a lot. I mean, those carries through the middle really put the South on the back foot. So, and the set piece was pretty dominant in terms of their scrum. So I'm going to give it to the big prop.
Well, we didn't see, especially at line-out time, we didn't see too many penalties dropped by either side for not straight throwing. We saw a bit of problem with scrums early on in the game, but the second half was a real fast-flowing 40 minutes. We didn't have too many stoppages, so they played a really hard 80 minutes of rugby. 83 and a half minutes of rugby.
Yeah, it was good to watch. Fantastic. And again, if you're South, plenty to like. Didn't get the chocolates today, but plenty to like about the performance. Obviously, you want to be winning games, but they're getting better and better.
Well, mate, I think that is full time. There's going to be wonderful results coming in from all across Premier Grade, so make sure if you're at home, you're staying tuned to all of the social media channels. And Travis, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Appreciate it.
Up the Reds.
Go the Reds.
Up the Reds. Well, that wraps us up here at Shipsywood, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Bond University, they are looking the goods and they're taking the Bunter Bowl back down the M1 to the Shark Tank. My name's Martin Lippitt. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.